Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Skagly Bones, your host, and we are here with another video. This is going to be a do-it-yourself video, and a series of videos, I should say, concerning this Diamondback Response mountain bike. As you can see here, it's a hardtail mountain bike. Has some decent components on it, but we want to do some upgrading. So we're going to start from scratch with upgrading this mountain bike. As you can see, it has some disc brakes, and they are the mechanical kind. You can see here. Focus the camera in. There you go. There you go. As you can see, there's the mounted disc brake calipers there. So we are going to be keeping those. We could go to hydraulic disc brakes. I really don't want to, but we're going to be taking them off, adjusting them, cleaning everything out. We will be taking off. As you can see, I was using the Crank Brothers Candy model. I have a set of Crank Brother egg beaters. I'm going to be taking these. I'll be taking off. I'll be keeping them. They got some rust on them. I'll be cleaning the rust off and probably reusing these on another bike. I'm going to take the cranks off. They're just a set of SR Sun Tours. The thing is absolutely filthy. So the plan is to kind of clean it up. The saddle we have on there, I'm going to probably change out to a mountain bike saddle. This Bontrager saddle, let's see if we can move up there. Bontrager saddle, I did buy it, fit into it. It's a pretty good saddle, but I think I'll be changing it out anyways. So we're going to keep the seat post. We will probably change out the bolts on the sucker here. We're going to probably change out the stem to a shorter stem and get one that's a little bit more level. We'll see about handlebars if we want to change those out. But for the most part, I'm going to be pulling the whole thing, checking all the bearings on it, pulling the bottom cranks as well, checking everything there, pulling the front rear mech, taking everything off, getting it cleaned up, putting it aside for possible later use. And then I did find out online, Amazon, a Shimano, oh gosh, I forget the group set. It's the 9-speed Holotech 2 crank version. Now, sorry folks, the name eludes me. I'm forgetting right now what it is. But we'll be getting that and putting that on this bike. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm gonna give me a couple seconds and we're gonna set up our for the video here. Okay, so one of the first things we want to start off with is getting rid of some of the accessories. So we're gonna start off first with our 4mm here, Allen wrench. We got our metric Allen set out, and we want to start taking off accessories. That includes, I already started off this guy. I was going to try to mount this with the seat post, but heavier bike, not going to mount that well with this less expensive stand. So taking everything off, we're including the reflectors, everything. We kind of set those down on our mat down here, and we're going to be using the mat for our parts. So one thing we want to do is, and I thought that was a 4mm, but it looks like it is a 5mm bolt. So we want to be taking off our accessories. And then the next thing we're going to do is, once we get, you notice bolts are really rusted, so I want to get all our accessory stuff off first, and that allows us to go to and get new bolts, non-corrosive bolts, order everything. Clean out the bolt holes there. Get our stuff out of the way. For our accessories, get our bottom cage off. like I said before in previous videos, always start, since you probably have a little bit of torque on some of these bolts, always start off with the flat end of your Allen key, and then once you're loosened, go to your bondus. Make it a little bit easier. Now, one thing you can do, you can take bolts and pieces like this. If you have a tray on your bike stand, you can kind of throw them there as well. Now, one of the other things we're going to do is we're going to want to take our wheels apart. So, there we have it. This I had was an adjustable bottle cage holder by Toppeek. They're pretty good, but they got metal parts, so they do corrode if you just leave them out. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we want to start by, there's a couple things we can do. We can start by pulling the handlebars apart and of course our cables apart. But one of the main things, as you can see, everything is kind of wet. It's all wet and yucky. So we're going to start by taking our shifting our cables apart. So that's one of the first things we want to do. So I'm going to put that down. We'll come over to our toolbox and we're going to get our cable cutters. Now we have a couple of pairs of cable cutters here. We have this pair of XLC cutters, good side cutters. The only problem is they don't have crimpers on them. So if you're crimping your stuff, now your park tools are going to be a little bit more expensive, probably an extra $5 or so. They should have a set of crimpers there for crimping your crimp ends on. Very nice, heavy duty, as you can see. Pretty close in style. The only difference is your locking mechanism down here. I like the handles on the park tools just a little bit better. But they're both pretty good as far as how they work. This has a spring mechanism in the head portion. This has a spring mechanism down here. So, sorry. So you can see the spring mechanism there. This one has one in the head. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by pulling off our K1s like so. Throw those in the trash. You notice they kind of made them too long on this bike anyways. Set that aside. We're going to go to our, let's see, is this a 4mm? Nope, 5. Mountain bike stuff, certain bolts are going to be this size bigger from what you're going to get in a road bike. As you can see, the front derailleur is dropped, but it doesn't matter, the chain is already off. Anyways, I don't want to completely tear this apart as far as the mech, so I'm just going to do that. And then we're going to come here to the, this has a clamp that goes around the seat tube. And we're going to release some pressure from here, the seat clamp. So as you can see right here, we're removing the seat clamp. The clamp for the front derailleur. Now our front derailleur is off. Okay, now, only thing that's holding it together is our chain. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take off our chain next. Now, one thing I recommend at this point is make sure you have some nitro gloves, which I don't have down here right now, so if you give me a couple seconds, I'll be right back. We're going to grab some.